I can't believe it's actually a thing, but right now they're making it the wildfire blame game. Quite literally, that's what's happening right now. And with the wildfires raging, why is the View now pointing the fingers at Donald Trump? And guess what? Also accusing him of racism. This is the same hand these Democrats play over and over.
Because he said it was unbelievable. I thought it was fake news. He said that California's woke politics and DEI are the reasons for the fires because Newsom has been tearing down dams because Native Americans, but he called them Indians, wanted some of the river back so they could catch salmon. And Gavin didn't just knock down one dam for the Indians. He knocked them all down. He knocked down 4 of the dams. I'm sorry. This is stolen land, first of all. Okay. California is stolen land. Second of all, that's part of.
Shut up. First of all, California's budget has been diverted from foul management to DEI programs, suggesting that this reduces resources for wildfire prevention. Come on, dog. In response. Are you serious? You don't understand how DEI and these woke policies are really hurting y'all? Hurting California? And you want to sit here and do the whole semantics thing. He said Indians and his Native Americans. Suggested, you know he didn't mean anything vicious by it, but because you have TDS, you want to go ahead and, make it spew like that. Then on top of that, you're trying to go, this is stolen land, woo, 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 woo. Like, dog, can you stick to the topic instead of all this freaking sensationalism? You the reason why your husband is under investigation right now. You snitched on that man. I just wanted to get that out, y'all. But anyhow, I don't know, man. I don't get it, man. We might end up with less competent firefighters, or we would end up with less competent, leadership when it comes to DEI. And DEI policies have led to less effective firefighting and less effective governing from leadership. Come on, man.
Didn't just knock down one dam for the Indians. He knocked them all down. He knocked down 4 of the dams. I'm sorry. This is stolen land, first of all. Okay. California is stolen land. Second of all, that's part of what always happens. These dams, there's preservation of the dam. So that was just complete, not only misinformation, but it was racist. And I think we need to also.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that my father really likes this show. I gotta call him today and pick on something. I gotta irritate him on purpose just because.
That was just complete, not only misinformation, but it was racist. And I think we need to also call stuff like that out.
Well, look, I think what this has shown us is for people who thought that Donald Trump has changed, he has not changed. Okay. No. He is the same immature, insensitive, inappropriate oaf that he's always been. What he should be doing right now is putting out tweets saying, I thank the heroic first responders. I thank the countries of Canada and Mexico and all the others who've helped. I thank the surrounding states that have sent help. I have talked to Governor Newsom. I have talked to Mayor Bass. I have told them that my administration in 7 days will be ready to supply everything and anything that California needs. Californians, my thoughts are with you. Those are the things you have to say. If you need help in figuring it out, go look at everything that Joe Biden has said for the last 4 years after a natural...
Lies? Wait, hold on. Are you kidding me? You comparing Biden and Trump right now? You saying this man ain't changed? Shorty. You used to be on this man's...
states that have sent help. I have talked to Governor Newsom. I have talked to Mayor Bass. I have told them that my administration in 7 days will be ready to supply everything and anything that California needs. Californians, my thoughts are with you. Those are the things you have to say. If you need help in figuring it out, go look at everything that Joe Biden has said for the last 4 years after a natural disaster. I have lived in Florida for 44 years. I have seen so many hurricanes. You know what somebody wants at that time?
Oh, you to shut up. That's what I'm thank God. But watch again is the one thing I'm happy to see on my screen right now. This is a bold move, in my opinion, man. You want to sit here and attack Trump and link him to the California wildfires and accuse him of racism towards Native Americans because he's saying they're not getting done. The handling of their situation isn't being dealt with properly. He's actually on their side. Like, I'm thinking, what's the real motive behind this? Honestly, why are they reaching for this? You know, the notion that Trump's, his stance or his reply was somehow racially motivated in this context seemed just too far-fetched, bro. I mean, it's so far-fetched, bro. The View is reaching for controversy, if you ask me, to try to stay relevant. We are witnessing a new political low in terms of discourse, man. And we already know this, and this is an attempt to tarnish Donald Trump's image. But yeah, The View, man, do y'all think that they're exploiting the wildfires to push a political agenda against Donald Trump in that sense? When I watched that clip, heck yeah, that's what I got from it. Now, what is they bias influenced by? That's what I really want to know. Because Donald Trump definitely addressed this before, and he said he had all the approvals and he wouldn't sign them. Gavin Newsom, that is. He wouldn't sign none of the approvals. And I told him, you need water. Your reservoirs are, man, let him speak. I'm gonna let him speak since y'all say Trump needs to be saying this and saying that.
The nation's 27 Republican governors for dinner at Mar-a-Lago, echoing comments he made earlier in the week about California's response to the wildfires. Trump didn't hold back when it came to criticizing California Governor Gavin Newsom.
I got all of the approvals, and he said, I don't want to sign it. I don't want the water. We don't need the water. I said, you need the water. Your reservoirs are empty, the whole place. You need the water. That was 5 years ago. And if you noticed yesterday, the hydrants were empty. They didn't have any water, many of them. And that's the reason that this happened. He wouldn't do what we wanted. And we're going to force that upon him now. But it's very late, because I think it's one of the great catastrophes in the history of our nation.
After watching the View clip and then watching that clip, you start to realize the role the media plays in shaping public's opinion, especially when it comes to political figures like Donald Trump, or political figures whom are right-leaning and against the left or legacy media's agenda. The bias is influenced by the agenda of the left wing. I don't care what nobody says. The claim of another Democrat lie in relation to Trump's portrayal makes me question the credibility of these accusations all the time. You get left wondering, is the media narrative about Trump becoming, more about attack than fact? Yeah, because, the media, the View used to love Donald Trump. I mean, they absolutely loved him. And then he became a Republican. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere along the line, something broke. Something broke. Now, moving forward, we have Gavin Newsom responding right now, saying he want our president to succeed, and his job isn't to wake up every single day and get a crowbar and try to put it in the spokes of the wheel, try to go at Trump, basically. I'll let him say it, though. It's some weak crap.
I want our president to succeed.
Oh, really? And why are you putting together $50 million in funds to make sure that, everything that happens with the deportations stays in place the way you want it, not the way Trump wanted? Why are you working against the man? Why did you ignore all his warnings? Okay, I'll let you speak.
I want our president to succeed. And our job, my job, is not to wake up every single day and get a crowbar and try to put it in the spokes of the wheel of the Trump administration. I want our...
The idea that these wildfires are being politicized to attack Trump's character seems like extreme. And I'm not even going to ask if this could be some sort of distraction from the real governance issue. We know what that is. Now, it says here that Donald Trump Jr. actually stepped in to defend his father against the wildfire-related racism accusations. His tweet was a strong rebuttal to the View's narrative for sure. And I'm thinking when a family member needs to publicly defend against such claims, that's when you know that it's really personal. When your son coming out and having to say something. His mention of witch hunt resonates, obviously, as part of the broader pattern of attacks on Trump and his family. And the comparison to other political figures now facing similar scrutiny will make you think, why is Trump always the vocal point of their controversy, man? Is the Trump family constantly under siege, or are they legitimately concerns, or are there legitimate concerns surrounding how they were raised and their political how do I say, accomplishments, how they move. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like he did a pretty good job, if you ask me, Donald Trump, of raising a civilized group of kids. Of course, they are human and they will make mistakes. But anyhow, back to the point. Silicon Valley billionaire Chamath, I don't know how you say his, I don't even know if I'm saying his first name right. Yeah, Chamath Palihapitiya calls for an immediate recall of Governor Gavin Newsom. This guy right here is a billionaire, as they put in the title. So we are abundantly clear. It has nothing to do with climate change or Donald Trump, and it has everything to do with bad policies and incompetence for sure. Now, could Chamath's call for the recall be the catalyst for a major political shift in California? Let's see.
I'm not very sympathetic to there were 100-mile-an-hour winds. Not because it's not true, but there's been enough modeling that we know that these kinds of outlier weather events are happening in greater and greater frequency. Remember that crazy apocalyptic video of that exact same part of Southern California in 2018 burning to the ground? Because that was 6 years ago. This is not like it was a distant memory from 100 years ago. We knew in 2018 that these types of...
the Sepulveda Pass.
So this idea that we were just lollygagging around and got caught off guard by 100-mile-an-hour winds, to me, is completely not an acceptable answer. We knew in 2018 that these things could happen. We knew across the rest of the United States that these outlier weather events were happening in greater and greater frequency. If you weren't sure, you saw most of the insurance companies try to dump Southern California homes' fire coverage 3 months before this event happened. So all this data was in the realm of the knowable.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you double click and you get into a little bit more of the details, there's a level of incompetence bordering on criminal negligence here that we need to get to the bottom of. So I'll just give you a couple of facts. In the 1950s, the average amount of timber, so wood, that was harvested in California was around 6 billion board feet per year. In the intervening 70 years, that shrank to about 1.5 billion board feet. And so you'd say, okay, well, that's a 75% reduction. We must be making a very explicit stance on conservation. It turns out that that's not entirely true, because what it left behind was nearly 163 million dead trees. Dead, like gone. And so you would say, well, those things should have been removed. And the problem is that then there's this California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, and a whole bunch of these other regulatory policies that limited the ability of local governments and fire management to clear these dead trees and vegetation. And I think that that's a really big deal. And when you double click on that, here's where you find the real head scratcher. Okay? Multiple bills. AB 2330, AB 1951, AB 2639, all rejected by the Democrat-controlled legislature, or worse, vetoed by Governor Newsom, that would have exempted these wildfire prevention projects from CEQA and other permitting issues. Then there were other bills to try to minimize the risk of fires by burying power lines underground. SB 1003, as an example, went nowhere, didn't even get to the governor's desk. So I'm just a little bit at a loss to explain these two bodies of data. One is everybody can see that these events are happening. Southern California lived through this exact type of moment just 6 years ago. All the bills that are meant to prevent this are blocked or vetoed.
You ask me, God is sending a huge message, and he is using California. For what message that is, I don't know. But it's time to wake up, America.